Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to review Deadpool 2. I watched Deadpool when it came out, the original film. I loved it, I own it. It was a great refreshing addition to the superhero genre. It did something similar to what Logan did, but in a totally different way. It took it in this more adult, serious direction. Well, let's say an adult direction, whereas Logan was very serious, this was very irreverent. And it blended together some things I like, some aspects of raunchy comedy, the comic book films, mash it all together, very self-referential, loved it. Really thought the film was great. Looking forward to the second film. I'd liked a lot of the advertising that had been done. I'd liked a lot of the trailers. I felt that it was interesting to see Josh Brolin in this role as well. And I was looking forward to him expanding the world slightly because the original story was quite shallow, quite weak. There wasn't a lot to the original story, not a lot actually happened. And it was, I think, going to be interesting to see what they did with this second film. Now, I would say on the whole, I really liked Deadpool 2. I thought the film was enjoyable, very funny. It had plenty of funny moments. I think the main thing is that now that the trick's out of the bag with Deadpool, I found that I was expecting or anticipating a lot of the jokes. You know that because you've got Josh Brolin in the film, you know they're going to make jokes about Thanos. It was in some of the trailers, I think, but you know they're going to have these jokes. And with that happening, it's very present, and it was, for that reason, quite telegraphed. For me, that's where the film didn't deliver quite so much. There was a lot of obvious humour that was... It felt very predictable in certain circumstances. Other things that happened in the film were very unpredictable and very much more welcome for that. And that was something I really looked forward to when it was actually happening in the film. They did the whole Xavier Mansion part again, looking at the school for gifted youngsters, no one's ever here. They did a little pan around, which is very different. I won't spoil what happens, but it was that kind of moment where you saw something you weren't expecting to see. I thought that was great. I thought that added a lot to the film and it kept it fresh. But overall, there was, for me, too much of the repetitive style humour of things that were predictable and you kind of knew would be coming. It didn't subvert itself in that way. Now, all that being said, I think if your worst criticism of a film is that you loved a lot of the individual, or most, or not all of the individual parts, but it didn't come together into a completely satisfying whole, I think that's still a very good endorsement of the film, and I would rate this film as a 7 out of 10. It's a very good film. Very good. But it was no longer unexpected. The film I would sort of compare it to is 22 Jump Street. What 22 Jump Street did that was different to Deadpool is it layered itself. So 22 Jump Street started doing the same stuff they've done in 21 Jump Street and then folded in on itself with jokes about how it was the same thing as the last time. Deadpool didn't seem to do that. It didn't start to laugh at itself quite as much. It was still laughing at the other things that were going on in comic book movies. It was still laughing at the darkness of the character. They must be in the DCEU. That's quite an old joke now. The DCEU, they've been trying to lighten it up. It wasn't quite on point. Making jokes about Josh Brolin being Thanos. Very telegraphed. So when they went out of that, when they were genuinely clever, I thought it worked better as an entire film. Notable mentions, I thought Zazie Beetz was great as Domino. No arguments about her whatsoever. Josh Brolin I thought was really good. Really, really good in the film. Very entertaining, a good counterpoint to Deadpool. I thought TJ Miller was average at best. Really, you could have taken him out of the film and it would have done nothing bad to not have that character. And the other members of X-Force or whatever they're called, that was a fun little bit. Little cameos, yeah, that was interesting. Nothing amazing, but interesting. The thing that really annoyed me about the film was how little they featured Negasonic Teenage Warhead. And that really did annoy me because I liked her in the first film. She's really cute. I love the character, this sort of sarcastic, irritable teenager. I like that. And I felt they could have done so much more, and they didn't. I'd rather have seen them try to construct a genuine team with her, Colossus, with Domino, Cable. I think that would have been more fun to generate a sort of a genuine X-Force rather than the sort of cast of miscreants like Shatterstar who have very little to do in the film. So that was my main complaint. I wanted more from her, for sure. Anyway, that's my review. I would say it's a 7 out of 10. It's a good film, well worth watching, worth seeing in the cinema. I hope they make a third. I'm very interested to see how it goes. Interesting if Disney buys Fox, what might happen with this. But it's a good film, well worth watching. Just not anywhere near as good as the first. Didn't grab you in the same way the first did. And that's a comedy sequel problem, I think. Anyway, what do you think of the film? Did you like it? Any comments, please let me know down below. If there's anyone has any sort of views or opinions or anything else, then please do get in contact. Look forward to hearing from you. Apologies for my throat, by the way. I've got a terrible cold at the moment, so my voice is going a bit. But if there's any comments, let me know down below. And my typing is every bit as good as it normally is. So look forward to hearing from you. Feel free to like, share and subscribe. You can get me through my website, www.julietnoir.uk, or you can get me through my email address, which is julietteisnoir@gmail.com. And if you're at all interested in the subject of these boots and how I came to own them, then you can very shortly tune in to a video I'm doing on some recent shoe purchases where I'll cover these off and talk about where I got them and a little bit about why I got them. So yeah, look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks so much and bye. Bye.